Hi everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I have my first favorite book of November to share with you. I told you in my October video, and I think the walkthrough, that I would continue kind of reading spooky books since so many of them took a while. And it was great, it was fine, but it did make for an interesting month of reading. I am so glad I read this book because this book is definitely in my top 5 favorites for the entire year. It's called Belladonna, and it's a young adult Gothic mystery, romance, supernatural type of book. And there is an element of creepiness, I guess you could say. And I read in some other reviews that it was described as creepy cozy, which I think sums it up perfectly. There is some creepy stuff in here, and normally Gothic and creepy don't work well for me, but this book is just fantastic. It's very atmospheric, and you are instantly sucked into this story. Since the book also has to do with the Belladonna plant, you know, the poisonous nightshade plant, I am decorating my spread with leaves and greenery, and then I also printed some clear stickers of an illustrated illustration of the Belladonna plant to decorate my spread with, and also like the little seeds. At least that's what I'm pretty sure they are. So I'm decorating those along the right hand side, a cluster by the book cover, and then 2 more diagonal from each other. So it makes like 4 different little sections. And I'll just trim off what I don't need, and I also have some of the purple flowers that kind of match the book cover. So I was really happy when I found this image and I was able to print it on some clear sticker paper and then stamping the greenery. I'm also going to use a few phrases from Syncopation Design. I shared that in my goodies video. Jennifer sent those to me, and so I'm using the genre, which is supernatural, and books are magical, and I also stamped my rating. So I used those little sentiments, and then again I used a sentiment that says trust your intuition. I read a lot of books this year that really tie into that whole theme. Okay, so this book is an amazing Gothic mystery with a side of death and romance. And Signa Farrow is a 19-year-old orphan, and she has lost all of her guardians in mysterious and untimely deaths. She is now coming to the home of the Hawthorns, Thorn Grove. And this family is just a fantastic mix of characters. They all have their flaws, so they're not perfect. There's Eli, the dad, who's dealing with the grief of losing his wife in a wild way with parties. And then there is Percy, who is trying so hard to impress his dad. And then Blythe, the daughter, who has the same illness as her mother, and she is very, very sick. And with this family, Signia quickly learns that things aren't as they seem and that there are many secrets hidden. Now, Signia has some powers and a connection to death, and it's a mysterious shadow that has seemed to follow her all of her life. And Signia wants nothing to do with death, but she may need his help to figure out what's going on with the Hawthorns, and she may have to form an unlikely alliance. And then I said, reading this book made me feel like I was at Thorn Grove. I was hooked from the beginning. There were so many wonderful aspects of this book, including the creepy shadow of death, and I cannot wait for the next book. I'm so excited. Okay, so quotes I put for the first one: do not change the parts of yourself that you like to make others comfortable. Do not try to mold yourself to fit the standards someone else has set for us. And this was when Signia was talking to some other ladies in the book. And then the second one is because I have waited an eternity to meet you, Signia Farrow. And that was Death talking to Signia. To me, you are a song to a soul that has never known music, light to someone who has only seen darkness. And the last one is, she was no longer feared. What brewed within her, and she was done making apologies for who she was. Signia would not just burn, she would ignite. So those were my quotes, and I mean, this book is just amazing, amazing. It's even a book I would consider rereading, and I think that even though it's, you know, a young adult, I think anybody and everybody would enjoy it for the autumn season, Halloween. It's just a fantastic book, and like I said, there's going to be a second one. I pulled out a green pen to highlight some keywords and or phrases that I really liked. And since I used a different shade of green with the marker, I decided to pull out another little leaf stamp and add that same color. It's like a fern color, so I wanted to add that into my spread. I could have gotten carried away with the greenery just because I love, you know, my greenery stamps and creating this kind of scene. And the whole belladonna plant does play a big role in this book and plants in general. So it's just, oh, such a great book. So I am stamping that, and then I'll fill in my rating, and that is it for this book. And I hope you have enjoyed seeing this spread come together. I would love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.